Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a quick, simple, and easy way to style for the fall season. It's going to be super affordable as well. But before I get into that, I wanted to take the time to tell those of you who have recently subscribed, those of you who had previously subscribed, and those of you who have shared my channel here recently. Thank you guys so much. It is very much appreciated. The sharing of the channel is definitely how I am able to be found here in the YouTube community. So I appreciate that so much. I hope that the video today will be just as inspiring as the last video that I shared. All right, so there are a couple of things that I want to highlight in this inspo today. One is going to be, of course, the crazy, affordable, inexpensive, and super simple way to add the fall look to your space. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a dining room. This one can be in whatever room you want it to be in. I just chose for it to be in the dining room this particular season. And when I say crazy affordable, I mean like $9.99 affordable. So I can't wait to share that part with you. I will say, I don't think it's not ever been done before, but I've not seen it done before when it comes to a fall inspired look. And I'll share a little bit more about that once we get to it. I'll share why I chose to do it that way, and you'll just get to see it. So I'm excited about sharing that part with you. One of the other things would be place settings. I know that there are some individuals who love to see inspiring place setting where they're looking for color inspiration, material inspiration, or just ideas when it comes to setting up the table. And then there are those who don't necessarily like to see place settings out for a full season, but you may set a place setting when it comes to small gatherings. And being that we have a couple of holidays coming up, I know Thanksgiving is a ways away, but in reality, I feel like it's going to be here in no time. But we also have Labor Day that's coming up very soon. And so sometimes people do small gatherings for that, whether it's indoors or outdoors. But should you be using your dining room and you're going to be looking for some table inspo and place setting inspo, then you'll be able to find that. So it's going to be two looks when it comes to the table. One super easy and simple because we're only just going to be looking at a centerpiece. And then the other is going to be the place setting, the colors that I've used. And of course, as always, I will be linking as many of those items as I can or similar items in the description box. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about this very first inspo that I want to share with you that I'm really excited about. All right, so talking about the very first inspo that I want to share with the dining room is this olive tree. Not the tree in itself, but what I decided to do to the tree. When I first showed my daughter, she looked at it like, yeah, okay. But I actually really like it. And the only thing that I did to it was I took some moss, and it's a particular kind that I grabbed, and I just sprinkled it over some of the branches and the leaves here on the tree, and I could not be more pleased with how it came out. So of course there's no particular way that you need to add this to the tree. You just add it to your heart's desire, and you can always go back and rearrange it. I'm probably going to do a little bit of rearranging or just moving some of the moss around, or pick up a little bit more moss and add it to the tree. When I was thinking about fall for this room, the same thing when it came to my tree Stella in the family room, I did not want to move this tree because, number one, I feel like this tree fills this corner nicely. I don't necessarily have to have a ton of decor on the walls or anything like that. And it adds a nice look, a nice full look to the corner. It's great for spring, it's great for summer, and in this case, it's going to be great for fall as well. So I've been able to use it most of this year so far. And so because I added the moss, that definitely brought down that look of spring and summer. And now it makes it feel a little bit more like the fall part of the year. A weeping willow is one of my absolute favorite trees. And when I thought about a weeping willow, I remembered seeing a ton of trees lining the streets in South Carolina when I visited there, and then also in Savannah once when I visited there, a couple of times actually. But to see the trees cascading and they're just full of the moss, there is something about that look that I have always, always, always loved. And while they're not olive trees filled with a ton of moss, they are big, full, beautiful trees that have a ton of moss on them. That is where that idea came from. I was hoping that how I was envisioning it in my head, that it would come out the same way in real life. And for me, it turned out great. I over love what it is looking like. I definitely feel like it has calmed down that feeling of spring and summer, and definitely given me more hints of fall in the space. So again, this is that $9.99 inspo idea that I was mentioning. And this tree went from looking like summer and spring to now it has a fall look. All right, so now that you have the full view of this tree in this space with the moss in there, let's move right along to the table centerpiece. So real quick, before we move on to the table centerpiece, the last time I shared my dining room, there was only 4 place settings here, and I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different. I moved the room around, the formal living room, and I pulled the high back chairs from that space and brought them into the dining room because I felt like the smaller chairs definitely helped this space feel much more open because it is a small dining room. It felt much more open, it felt much lighter and airy, and I wanted the space to feel a little bit more cozy. My solution to that was bringing in the 2 high back chairs, and it definitely kind of filled the space a little bit more. I now have 6 place settings here versus 4. That's the first thing. And then the next thing with this centerpiece here, so there's a couple of things I have here. I have some velvet pumpkins, I have some acorns, I have some cement pumpkins here as well. All right, so if you look closely, you will notice that these are velvet green pumpkins, same as was in my last video in the family room. Like I said, I really love the look of the velvet pumpkins, and I know they were pretty popular, and I think they are still pretty popular. I don't get them because they are popular. I get them because I actually think they're really pretty. So I think this is one of those seasonal trends that is going to be in style for a really, really long time. This is a cement pumpkin. So that's what I really love about this. I am a super fan of cement items, and so when I came across these are actually found in Hobby Lobby, and I've actually had these for about maybe 2 to 3 years now. So I really like them. They've been coming out every year, and they're going to come out again next year, Lord willing, I should say. But so we have that. We have these little acorns, which I added these to my coffee table last year, so you can use these, of course, anywhere. But I thought these little acorns were cute. I'm a fan of the wood decor pieces as well. We have this flower. So I have 2 of them in here. There's one there. And then we have this one. I found these in Home Goods a couple of years ago as well. So these always come out. So that's a little flower. I think that flower is resin material. So we got some cement here, some little wood pieces, velvet pieces, resin, and I just really like the mixture of it. So again, in no particular order, you can just place a bunch of your favorite little fall pieces together on the table into a little bunch. Just rearrange them in a fashion that is likable for you. On the end of this, I added 2 candles. So woods, velvet, cement, and resin, and voila. I really like this table setting. It's very simple and easy and affordable. All right, now moving on to the actual tablescape for those of you who actually enjoy seeing place settings and getting inspo for that. These are the placemats that I'm going to be using. They are very inexpensive, and you might hear me say that a lot, but that is because I truly am the person who really loves to find good deals. I don't like paying an arm and a leg for something unless I feel like it's definitely worth it. So these are the placemats, and you've probably seen me use them before. Very simple placemat, but you'll notice there is a slight border around the end of it. So I really love this color brown. It has a slight sheen to it, but this is a plastic placemat. Super easy to clean if it gets dirty. So if you're gonna have youngsters at the dinner table, this is like perfect for that. What I love about this placemat is this can be on a tablescape that is supposed to be elevated. This can also be on a tablescape that is very casual and not meant to have a luxe look. I think you can do multiple looks with this. So I'm going to go ahead and place these on the table. All right, now the plates that I'm going to be using are these black plates that have a little bit of shimmer and speckle in them. These are some of my favorite plates. You don't always have to buy new plates. You can recycle and use the same plates that you've had for a long time. Or if you're in the market for some new plates, I am going to be putting the link to these in the description box as well. But I'm going to do 2 sets of plates. So we have this particular set with the splatter in them. And then we also have these. These somewhat have a little bit of splatter, but it's different. The others are a lot more like specks, and these are actually raised off of the plate. But I love the simple detail of these. So I'm going to sit these 2 at the head of the table, and then the others I will sit in the other 4 place settings. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the table now. Now for what I would consider to be one of the most fun parts of the tablescape, which is choosing your napkins, your napkin rings. For me, I have a couple of these. I think I have 2 sets of these, and I think I have 2 or more sets of these, but both were very inexpensive, which is why I have both. And this napkin ring I've had for a really long time. So all of it are items that I've already had, and I did not have to go out and purchase to include the plates. But doubling up these napkins is what I would consider a beautiful mistake, because when I first ordered these, the brown ones, I was really excited about the texture of them. I was excited about the shaping of them, and that they had some ruching and just a lot of movement. But what I didn't take into an account is when I would put them in a napkin ring. When I put a napkin ring on them, they were so thin, they weren't holding inside of the napkin ring. You could literally just run it right through. So it just didn't make sense to have them in a napkin ring by themselves. So I ended up having to double up with a thicker napkin, and of course they hold well this way. But once I did that, I realized how much I really liked the look of this, and I used it in my last tablescape, and I'm going to use it in this one like this as well. I think this color combination is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and place these on the table, and then we'll give you a quick look at what that's going to look like once that's all out. So again, you can get very creative with your silverware. I love the look of the silver against the black plates. So I'm going with silver, and I'm going to put them on the plate instead of on the placemats. Yes, we all know that you can put them on the placemats because that is more the standard. and what I believe a lot would call the proper way to do it. But I just feel like when it comes to these things, you can get very creative and you can do whatever it is that you want to do that feels good to you once you've pulled your whole look together. All right, you guys, so we kept things quick, simple, and easy. Thank you guys again for stopping by my channel. Before I go, I do want to mention I sometimes get a lot of questions about my chandelier here, so I do want to mention that I did find that chandelier on Amazon. So I am going to go ahead and link that in my description box as well. And if you guys have any questions about anything that I've shared here, please feel free to send me a message, or you can put it in the comments. If you'd just like to share your thoughts on this tablescape in the dining room look for fall, by all means, I look forward to reading your comments and engaging with you all. Again, thank you guys so much for stopping by my channel today. For those of you who have already subscribed, I do hope that you will hit the like button. And then for those of you who are new here and watching for the first time, I hope you found some inspo as well. And I do hope that you will subscribe. I hope that everyone will hit the like button and share with others that you think may find some interest in this, so that they may be able to find me in the community as well. Bye now.